Welcome to week 13 of Overtime with Jared P. and Johnny O. We got a lot to get to, including Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, the NFL Power Five, our surprise NFL team. We got some college football playoffs implications in the Big 12. And we'll go from there. We want to thank our sponsors real quick. Our title sponsor, Teed Up Indoors. Johnny, your friend there.
Yep. Davis Troxler, tee it up indoor on Battleground Ave. Again, every time we say it, we amaze. It's amazing. 110 or 120,000 golf courses throughout the world you can play over there. It's got a full bar. They got leagues going, corporate events. Give Davis Troxler a call at 336-285-7823 and get yourself a tee time there.
All right, and we'll get into some of our other sponsors here in just a few moments. And if you want to be a sponsor of the podcast, real simple, email Johnny sportscarolina@gmail.com, sportscarolina@gmail.com. All right, the biggest disaster in live sports history, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. And we're not talking because it was, the actual fight was boring. The fact that Netflix was having a major meltdown, buffering issues throughout the entire evening, and people were complaining nonstop. Now, as far as social media is concerned, it was a huge win. There's been more memes and jokes, but it's at the expense of Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, and also Netflix. So, Johnny, what were your thoughts on? I don't know if you saw it or at least saw some highlights. What did you think about that night?
We were settling in to watch the whole damn thing, to be honest with you. Even my girlfriend Kim was pumped up about watching this. A little tidbit on that. Kim was born on the exact same day as Mike Tyson. And I mean the exact same day. She's the same age and same day, the whole 9 yards as Mike Tyson. I thought that was kind of cool.
She's not going to like the fact you gave her age out on the podcast.
I know. She's going to yell at me about that, but she was
cool.
home with me, and Tyson's out fighting some 27-year-old. But we were really excited about doing it. And of course, there's always that undercard, and you got to wait until midnight for the actual fight to start. And we turned it on about 8:30 or whatever, and it started buffering. And I'm like, you're kidding me. I'm trying everything. I'm rebooting my Wi-Fi. I'm thinking it's me, and then I saw you post something, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is a disappointment. So to answer your question, I never saw the fight because I got fed up with it by 9:30, and I said, the hell with it. I'll see all the highlights and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, we did not give up on it. I mean, we watched all 4 hours and 45 minutes of that night. We had my girlfriend was over, my brother, my kids were here, and so it was just fun to hang out. But it's the buffering, like you said. So we're turning off. I'm going on to AT&T.com to sign out my kids from their Wi-Fi, turning off Wi-Fi spots in the house.
Yes.
And different things. And I did post, like you said, and I saw it was a major problem. So then I did a video about it. And then what happened was on my Netflix, I logged out of my profile and I logged into my kids' profiles. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but right away, clear for the rest of the night. But like the best fight of the night, Serrano versus Taylor, the two female boxers, we watched it blurry. I mean, and of course, then Mike Tyson, the greatest thing about the fight that night, Mike Tyson doing the interview with his son in the locker room, he turns around and he looks like there's a scene from Despicable Me or Minions where he's wearing like a jock strap. All he sees is his butt.
That's
We're like,
great.
what is going on?
He pulled a Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell always shows his butt in his movies for some
reason. He sure does. Well, and then today, a lot of stuff's coming out that Mike Tyson, this is not verified, but you're seeing in a lot of places, Mike Tyson earned more money the longer the fight went on.
Oh,
and apparently, allegedly in his contract with Jake Paul, he could throw any punch except for the uppercut. I don't know. There's conspiracy theories out there. People are saying that today. I don't know if that's true, but my take on it, Mike Tyson went in. He went at him hard. You didn't see the fight in the first 2 rounds. He was chasing him around the ring, but every time he got close, hit him with a jab in the first round, Mike Tyson did, and I mean, it caught Jake Paul, and he stumbled back 3 or 4 feet,
Really?
3 or 4 steps, I should say, and it was like, oh, he might knock this dude out real quick. And then Jake Paul clinched basically the whole first 2 rounds until he got separated. So I think Mike Tyson was like, I'm not chasing this dude anymore. But the conspiracy theories are out that it was staged or somewhat set up, or like, we'll throw some punches here and there, but we're not going to go. We're not going to try to knock each other out. And
Is
Mike
it,
Tyson, 20
is,
million bucks. Jake Paul got
right. Is that
40
really
million
a
bucks.
surprise? Boxing, man. I mean, sometimes you wonder, back when Tyson was in his prime, and boy, that was fun to watch back in those days. He didn't care about any of that stuff. I mean, he was knocking guys out the first 30, 32 seconds of a lot of fights, and he didn't have to let it go. But what you're saying is, Tyson, I looked it up before the fight, and his net worth was like $9.2 million. Okay.
Yeah,
That's nothing, I mean, he pissed away 500 million at least, so he needed this money. I mean, how do you live on like 9.2 million? I
I
mean, come
can't.
on,
I
right?
know you can't, Johnny. That's
But
a month for you.
so he ended up making 20 million on this fight.
Yeah, 20 million bucks, and it's estimated that Jake Paul, because on Netflix there's no pay-per-view. Jake Paul made 40 because his production company was
Yeah,
involved in different things of that nature, and his at betting at Better. So I mean, he won money all the way around. So
good for
BETR.
Mike Tyson. I'm happy for Mike Tyson. I
Yeah.
mean, I like the guy for whatever reason. He's an entertainer too, in his own way. I don't think he tries to be an entertainer. He's just Mike Tyson.
Well, people like a redemption story and second chances, and I mean, every poll online, like 99% of the people wanted Mike Tyson to knock out Jake Paul. I mean,
Yep.
and they were booing Jake Paul when he came out. And he knew that would happen. Then Mike Tyson, I mean, people were going nuts when he came out. Everyone was excited to see him. By the way, he had like 8 blood transfusions over the summer. He had a medical emergency, and so he said he's lucky to be alive. So I mean, he probably shouldn't have fought this quick, this in this short time frame. But anyway, we were all kind of duped. The fight was boring. The actual fight was boring, but everything around it was fun, and
Yeah.
everything after it with the memes. Like they said, I think I posted, but it wasn't my idea, that Jake Paul's next opponent is 100-year-old Jimmy Carter. So well, there's
Yeah.
all
I
those
liked
memes
it.
out there.
That
All
was
right,
good.
let's thank our other sponsors. We have great sponsors: 336 Realty, 336realty.com for all your home buying needs. I've used them multiple times. Ryan Carney is the owner there and the realtor. He does such a great job. Surf Hippie Fishing, surfhippiefishing.com. They have fishing rod holders. They set you up with tournaments. They have apparel. Anything you need for fishing, they're the go-to people. They're a super cool company. Surfhippiefishing.com. Elite Performance Chiropractic. We had NFL player Jeremy Phillips, who owns that and is a chiropractor there, the doctor there. He was on last week. He was great on our
He
podcast.
was. Enjoyed it. Hello. We are having a minor technical difficulty here. Let's see. Jared has disappeared, and it's just me right now. But let me mention the other sponsors actually. Jimmy Snow with Imperial Marketing Solutions. If you need a reconditioned laptop, he's the man to call. He's up north. You can call him at 315-345-8349. Any reconditioned computers, he can take care of you. They're like brand new, but for half the price. And another buddy of mine, Estate Jewelry and Loan, Brian Demore here over off of Battleground in Greensboro. If you need to sell jewelry, diamonds, watches, or coins, my good friend Brian will give you trusted advice and personalize it. And he will give you top dollar, top payout. So give Brian a call. But you can reach them at estatejewelryloan.com, estatejewelryloan.com. I think Jared's trying to get back on. We got a little difficulty here. He's trying. But we had Jeremy from Elite Performance Chiropractic. He's over on Battleground. He was great on the show last week. He's going to probably come back on with us back in maybe in December. But you can reach him at Just look up Elite Performance Chiropractic on the web, and he does all kinds of stuff. He specializes in active release technique, which is a patented state-of-the-art soft tissue movement-based massage technique. So Jeremy can take care of you at Elite Performance Chiropractic. Jared, you there?
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
I
I
don't know
just
what
went through
happened.
while you were gone. I went through all the advertisers, so we're good.
Okay, good. All right, great. So the NFL Power Five, Johnny O. I think you went first
No,
last
I
time, but you go
did
first
not. I
again.
didn't even get to talk last week between you and Jeremy.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. You're right. All right, I want you to go first anyway. Either way, but yeah, you're right. You should go first.
All right, number 5, a newcomer to the to my top 5.
Hey Johnny, real quick. I think is your table shaking?
Oh, is it? It might be. I'm getting excited over here, man.
Yeah, it kind of has a rattle. Okay.
Okay.
It might be your phone. All right.
The number 5 coming in, the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was a big win for them. They got a Super Bowl defense. I mean, I've waited to get them into this top 5 because they've been winning all year long, but I wasn't trusting them at all. I'm getting messages and text messages, emails saying, well, how come the Steelers aren't in that top 5 yet? Well deserved. They're in my number 5. They're only giving up 16 points a game. Mike Tomlin is, oh my gosh, I've been bragging on. I'm not even a Steeler fan, but I think he's one of the greatest coaches to ever live, and the longevity he's had with Pittsburgh, it's all good. But listen to this little tidbit: they have won 2 games. They're 8-2. They have won 2 games without scoring a touchdown.
That's incredible.
It's unbelievable.
Wow,
man.
that's a great stat.
But they're in, obviously the defense. My number 4 team coming in are my Eagles. Okay. The quarterback and running back play is fantastic. And since they're on this 6-game winning streak, their defense has been just off the charts. And again, a running game and defense, you put that together, these are Super Bowl contenders without a doubt. So I'm real happy with the Eagles. They're only giving up 18 points a game. My number 3, they have dropped a little bit. The Kansas City Chiefs at number 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've been kind of hiccuping all the way through the season. Again, they were 9-0, now they're 9-1, obviously, but a little bit of hiccups. But they were still winning. But they're down to 3, still championship football. But let's face it, their defense is, they gave up some points against Buffalo. But Mahomes has to start playing Mahomes football now. They need to be scoring 25, 30 points a game if they want to get back to that number 1 spot into the Super Bowl. So they got some work to do, even though they're at 9-1. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills. God, they need a Super Bowl so bad. Josh Allen, I mean, that's all I've been hearing all day long today. You know how they change. I mean, all the talking heads on ESPN and Fox. He's the MVP of the league. It'll change next week if he throws an interception or whatever. But boy, he looked great last night, and he is such a beast, man. But he's 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's keeping his turnovers down, and he's just a football player, man. If anyone, you gotta love that guy, and he outplayed Kansas City last night. Number 1. These Detroit Lions are just destroying teams, man. They are 9-1, 10 games. They are plus 159 points over those 10 games. The next closest to that is Buffalo at plus 106. Detroit is destroying teams. They're, again, we've been saying it every week. They're just well balanced. Special teams, defense is very good enough, and the offense is just potent. So Detroit has finally reached the number 1 plateau here. So I got Detroit, Buffalo, KC, the Eagles, and the Steelers snuck in at number 5.
I like your list. I have some differences. Baltimore's out, like I think we both agree on.
Yeah.
My my top five, and it's again what we said. Their secondary is just not good. I mean, they cannot have a deep run with that secondary. All right, at number five, I actually have, in agreement with you, the Pittsburgh Steelers. What you said was correct. They were winning. They did pretty well with Justin Fields, who's limited as a passer. But now they have him; he can come off, the bench, and they have some packages for him and some design run plays, and then he can always throw the ball. So I like that. Russell Wilson is, he had a bad game against the Ravens, but they still won. I think they're four. I think 4 for 16 or 4 for 12 on third down. They still beat a very good Ravens team. Let's
Yeah.
not get crazy. At number four, it's going the same thought process as you. I have the Kansas City Chiefs at number
Oh,
four, and you have them at three, but I have them at four. And the reason being is, even though they're 9-0, and yes, and I'm not hating on them at all. My son loves the Kansas City Chiefs. Matter of fact, I'm going to the Kansas City Chiefs Panthers game on Sunday. My
right.
son's over the moon excited.
Oh yeah.
Um, but this team has not looked right on offense all year long. They have a very good defense. They had a kind of a bad game against Buffalo, as you said. But Mahomes, the numbers wise, he's not a Pro Bowler this year. He's not an alternate Pro Bowler. I mean, he's middle of the pack when it comes to stats. He's actually bottom third when it
Yes.
comes to statistics in the NFL, and he's great. We know he's great, but something is off. I know they had some early injuries and bringing people in, and they're not on the same page. But their offense is not an Andy Reid offense, and until they get that fixed, I don't see them going far in the playoffs because one, they're well, I guess they could still have home field advantage. We'll see how it goes. They've had so many close games. This team could easily be 500,
Yep. Yep. You're
and
right.
so I believe we said last week, the first 9 games they've had for the they had the lowest point differential for any team that started 9-0. I
Yeah.
think it's like plus 48 at the time, and I mean, they're barely inching by. Now, a win's a win. It's hard to win in the NFL, but until that offense starts playing consistently, and Mahomes starts playing consistently, and they get on the same page with his receivers and running backs, I don't. They're not going to be a three-peat or back to back to back, which hasn't happened ever in the NFL. We can see why it's tough. All right, at number three, I have your Philadelphia Eagles
All right.
again. Like I said before, and I said last week, and I said when he was out, this is all contingent on AJ Brown being healthy. If he goes out, th- it's a totally different team. So I like the way they're playing. Like you mentioned, their defense is kind of the star of the team, or I should say, their defense is not getting the credit they deserve because you have Saquon Barkley, you have AJ Brown, you have Jalen Hurts, you have
Yep.
Devontae Smith. They get the headlines, but the Eagles team is legit, and it shows how stupid Eagles fans are that when y'all were two and
Oh,
two, people are like, "Get rid of Sirianni, he's terrible." Gosh, they drive me crazy. I mean, you're an Eagles fan, you're a good dude, but they're just like, get rid of him and all that. Okay, because they had their star players out, and look at they have a legit chance of going back to the Super Bowl. So
100%.
with Saquon Barkley, they're balanced.
Woo.
For once. At number two, I have. You're not going to like this. The Detroit Lions. Not a believer yet. Not
Oh,
a. I'm a
man.
believer. They're an excellent team, and I'm a believer they can make a deep run. Could they be in the Super Bowl? Absolutely. Just not there yet. I'm just not there, and I don't give them any credit for destroying a terrible Jacksonville Jaguars team.
Right.
Now, it was fun to see them score touchdowns in their first 6 possessions. That's fun. That's fun to watch. Jared Goff is underrated
Yep.
for a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. There's just something, you get those gut feelings that something's amiss. They're going to have a stinker game like he had those 5 picks, but not be able to pull it off in the playoffs. But they are balanced. I mean, they've got weapons everywhere on offense, and their defense, um, even without Hutchinson, is still fairly elite. Number one, the Buffalo Bills. They're surging. They have possibly the quarterback that's the best performing quarterback thus far this season in the NFL. Um, you got to love the Buffalo Bills at number one. It'd probably be Buffalo at the season end today. I could see it easily being Buffalo, Detroit, or Buffalo Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think Kansas City's run, at least for this year, is over. Not that it's over for good. So that's my Power Five.
But all those teams, that both of us mentioned, the AFC is loaded. You know what I mean? I mean, you look
Yeah,
at our at the NFC. You got your Eagles. You got Detroit. You have. I mean, really. I mean, if you really only want, those are the only two teams in the
right.
NFC that are elite right now. Where you got the Steelers, the Bills, Kansas City. Who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting somebody else here. Um,
Baltimore.
Oh, well, in Baltimore, if they get it back, but they got four losses. That's very disappointing. It really is.
Yeah, and the Texans are a younger team. I mean, but they're
Yeah,
not. That they're not an easy out, and they've been banged up this year. But I mean, NFC. Let's be fair. I mean, basically, it's the NFC North. You still have Green Bay. You got
yep.
uh, Minnesota Vikings, which no one. They're probably the least talked about 8-2 team in the NFL. But yeah, no. But AFC is definitely, as
As
it has been over the last 15 years, you know the the better of the two conferences. All
yep.
right, so you have your surprise team, your surprise NFL team so far this year. I guess it could be good or bad. Who's your surprise team this year?
My surprise, just real quick, and I wanted to include them in that AFC little thing we were saying. The LA Chargers, man, are 7-3. Jim Harbaugh, he's a winner. I did not expect him to have a 700. I mean, he's winning 70% of his games with the Chargers. They got rid of a lot of people right before he arrived, and they're at 7-3, and they're right in contention, and they're probably going to, be in the playoffs. And look out for that team. He just knows how to coach, knows how to win, gets the respect of the players, and that quarterback of theirs, Justin Herbert, hasn't really been talked about a lot.
Yeah,
13 touchdowns, one interception. Um, they're only giving up. Oh no, I lost you again, Jared. There you are. You know how many there you got the Steelers giving up 16 points a game? The Chargers are giving up 14 points a game. So
wow.
look out for that team. That's my surprise of the year so far.
I got to find the clip. I could go back. I think it's in our first, second episode of the year. I said, watch out for the Chargers. I said, he's a winner. He's won in the NFL before, and he's won at every college he's been to. He's a turnaround artist. He was left with a pretty good team that had a bad record and bad coaching. He had a team that was loaded on defense to come in, and he's doing the opposite of what the NFL, the trend. He's defense and running the ball, defense and running the ball, and
Yep.
he's kind of the Pittsburgh Steelers of the West so far this year. But no, great choice there. My surprise team, and there's a lot of surprises this year. A positive surprise team would be the Commanders, but we've talked enough about them so far this year. But
Mhm.
I would say, because what a great turnaround. But I would say the Dallas Cowboys,
Yeah.
3 straight years of 13-3, and they're 3-6, and they might not win but one or two more games the rest of the season.
Mm,
There's no reason for their roster, at least on offense and some defensive, players, like Micah Parsons and other Diggs and so forth, for them to be 3-6, and that's
I agree.
before Dak went out. There's no reason for that. That's unacceptable. I love seeing it. I'm a Commanders fan. I'm
Yep.
sick and tired of hearing about the Cowboys, but that's a shock. I thought they would walk away with the NFC East because the Eagles looked down coming, and the Eagles were not looking down, but at the beginning of the year they weren't looking great. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
Coming in, we didn't know about Jaden Daniels, how well he performed. And,
Yep.
as a team that won 4 games last year, and then the Giants have been
Are
a
the
dumpster
Giants.
fire. They had one good year a couple years ago with Dable, their coach, but they've been a dumpster fire, and so I thought they'd probably easily win the NFC East. But shocking how horrible and
It is.
terrible, and how quickly you know the goodwill has faded from the Dallas Cowboys. They're getting
Yep.
so bad that even Get Up's not talking about them as much anymore.
I know. I
Your
know.
favorite
And
show.
and and as you were talking about them being such a disappointment, you had a big smile on your face, and so did I. So
Yeah.
this is a happy surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, real quick, we'll do our back-breaking play of the week, brought to you by Elite Performance Chiropractic, two locations in the Triad. The back-breaking play of the week was not a play at all, but to me, you didn't see it, but the Katie Taylor Serrano fight, Serrano landed 100 more punches than Katie Taylor, and lost in a decision. That's
Oh,
backbreaking. That's rough. Her eye was split wide open,
oh my God! I wish I would have saw that.
split wide open, and so anyway, they're going to rematch. They're going to play. They're going to play. They're going to fight again. But
Yeah.
what a great! You should have. If you have a chance to watch something, just go and put it in round 7. From it was the whole fight. They landed, I think, combined 1,500. I'm sorry, they threw 1,500 punches. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, I think, threw a combined 150 punches.
See, there
So I
you go.
mean,
You want to see that? Oh, I'd love to watch that. That reminds me of those old Sugar Ray Leonard fights.
yes.
Yeah, they were punching each other. You know, that was good
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, and even the 10th round, they're gassed. Her eyes, Serrano's eye was like, her eyelid was like hanging off, and she didn't care. Both of them, though, Taylor and Serrano are both excellent fighters,
Huh.
best fighters of the night. And for me, the catch of the week, powered by Surf Hippie Fishing, it's the photographer and videographer and the people in attendance that caught John Jones. He didn't try to not get caught. UFC fighter doing the Trump dance in front of Trump at UFC.
That was
That
beautiful.
what a great video. I mean, no matter how you feel about it, that video went viral in 2 seconds,
Absolutely, that was
and no one
fantastic.
was expecting it. No one was like, "Oh, he just won. He just defended his heavyweight title at UFC." The dude's a dominant fighter, John, and he's entertaining. I've seen him do some stuff on social media. I didn't realize how funny he was, but he did the little Trump dance
Yep.
right in front of Trump, and they pointed back and forth. But good catch, the videographer getting that and getting that out there because it's gone mega viral everywhere.
Oh, good call on that, man. And all a lot of NFL touchdowns were celebrated with the Trump dance. You know,
Yeah.